And we started the show again. All right, guys. This is probably going to be the last episode that I record in this cluster of episodes. I don't know how many there are. I don't know how long it's going to take me to get them up. But guess what? Your boy just had some hopefully pretty consistent content for the past couple of days, and I'm sure I'm working on the next batch. So be excited for that. But yeah, let's just take this last 10 minutes. Let's just have some fun with it, right? What have we talked about in this cluster? We've talked about movie criticism. All right, I would argue, relatively bad faith movie criticism in one sense or another. Whether it's me being bad faith or other people being bad faith, that's for you to determine. Have fun with that one. What else did we talk about? We talked about how Trump is in some ways very similar to Stuart Little, but in other ways very dissimilar from Stuart Little, which I thought was a very compelling video. We talked a little bit about corporate branding and how unfair it is. Obviously, yesterday's episode was kind of a pointless ramble until I started talking about God, and I have big problems with this guy, so, I'm sure that'll come up again at some point. But, yeah, no. I think we've had some fun. I think we've had some fun the past couple days. I don't think the mic has really been pointed at my mouth, which is maybe good, because I'm pretty loud. So, yeah. I've always been loud, actually. Here's a fun little topic of conversation. This one's all about me, and I'm not going to apologize for that. If you want to watch something about global politics or movies or news or culture or who knows, maybe you want to talk about the new season of Scrubs, million different channels to go and have all the fun. And, maybe you should. Maybe you should just go have fun with some other channel, huh? I wouldn't blame you. But, yeah, no, it's been pretty good. Pretty fun week. I'm sure we've amassed at least 10 more subscribers, probably, It is the fastest growing show on the internet, and you don't want to miss out. I can't blame you for not wanting to miss out, because, boy, oh boy, have we had some conversation starters this week, And I really hope, I hope you take what we talk about here. I hope you bring it up to your friends and family, okay? And then send them my way. Tell them some crazy guy from the internet sent you. And then run away! And then join my commune! Let's start a cult, everyone! And then let's live out in the woods for a year! And then let's all take ourselves out with a refreshing, sugary drink. If you're interested in doing something like that, leave it in the comments. We can talk about it. Obviously, we might want to attract a little bit more attention before starting the channel's commune, but I'm sure it'll happen at some day. The whole thing is about community building and, local politics. So that's fun. This is a learning moment right here. This little silence, Had a fun time talking about our possible commune, but it's not something I'd go about for a whole video. Maybe at some point I'll openly plan out my commune. That might be kind of fun. But no, there's a lot of value in silence sometimes. I think we have a tendency to fill our lives with noise. Because it's comfortable. Because noise is very comfortable, right? You don't have to think about what's wrong with you. Even though there's a lot of stuff. Like this thing or that thing or the other thing. So, when someone gets quiet, it's kind of like, oh no, what's wrong with me? Or, the logical thing you do at that point is like, oh, what's wrong with them? For not talking all the time. For not being so dang loud. Give me something to distract me there, bucko. Well, guess what? Sometimes I'm just gonna let you sit in the stink of your own thoughts. How do you like that one? How do you like them apples? Oh, here's a fun one. Clavicular OD'd. Isn't that incredible? Isn't that amazing? Oh my god. Yeah, today I woke up, my girlfriend told me clavicular had OD'd, and you know what? I'm gonna take a stand on all of this. I really love it when bad things happen to terrible people. I got a total fucking gag out of when Charlie Kirk got shot in the fucking neck. Okay, I loved that Clavicular got OD'd. I'm pretty sure he got arrested a couple times recently. I really love it when, like, Trump shits his pants in the Oval Office. I'm a huge fan of when J.D. Vance embarrasses himself in front of the entire world stage. I think when terrible things happen to bad people, I am living life, okay? I'm getting a real fucking kick out of it. And you know what? I'm done apologizing. Done apologizing for that sentiment because fuck you, all right? I remember when Charlie Kirk got shot in the neck, and then all of a sudden, every fucking liberal pundit ever came online. Oh no! Someone who participated in politics the right way. Oh, why? I feel so bad for his family. I'll tell you something. I don't feel bad for him. I don't feel bad for his fucking wife. I don't feel bad for his fucking kids. And I hope his entire organization burns up, and everyone who joined a chapter, I hope they find a nice, cozy place in hell. Okay? Okay. Because let's be very clear right now, right? The types of things that people like Charlie Kirk are advertising are things that screw over marginalized people. Charlie Kirk was a solely self-interested entity, all right? The only reason that anyone gave a shit about this guy is because he spent his entire life building up a coalition so terrible people could unleash horrors onto the American public, right? And as a result of Charlie Kirk's advocacy, people have been shot, people have been deported, people have been arrested, and meanwhile, there's a whole fucking fan section cheering in the wings, and whenever anything bad happens to a Democrat or a leftist or somebody else, it's all fucking shits and giggles, but then all of a sudden, your big boy gets one right through the fucking neck, Kirk gets slimed, and all of a sudden it's don't make fun of him. You're special. Fuck you. Okay. So, yeah, that was a little point. What was I talking about before? Oh yeah, nothing in particular. But yeah, Clavicular OD'd, and Clavicular is another terrible person, right? Here's a fun fact. Women are people. All right. Guess what? Your looks, everyone can take or leave them. Everyone can take or leave how you look. If you look amazing and you're an atrocious person, no one's going to want to talk to you. All right? The thing about Clavicular, and this is why it's so great that he OD'd, because his whole thing is like preying on the insecurities of young men who, in following him, end up essentially asserting that they have no interest in pro-social behavior, but are willing to torture themselves to try to look as fantastic as possible for a society that they don't actually want to interact with, right? Clavicular is a terrible role model for people, and the fact that he recently OD'd, he's getting in a lot of legal trouble, is fantastic because maybe it'll help people wake up a little bit. There are consequences to being a terrible person. Charlie Kirk experienced those consequences. Clavicular is now experiencing those consequences. And, honestly, one of the reasons why I think I'm so full of life when I'm talking about terrible things happening to bad people is because there still are a lot of terrible people who are not being held accountable in any degree. So whenever you get someone sliming Kirk, whenever you get Clavicular ODing, there's just enough of this little magic pixie dust that makes you think like, oh boy, a bunch of other, hopefully more punishment finds its way to people who do bad things, right? Have a good day, everyone. It's been a heck of a video cluster. Like and subscribe, huh? We got the fastest growing channel on the internet. I'm more than open to welcoming you, viewer, into our ranks. You know, and maybe one day we will have that commune, huh? That'd be pretty nice. Anyway, peace out. Have a good day.